in the 90s, especially, I don't even know if you were born, but
regarding,
no. Okay,
2002. So you're the executive producer of the independent feature film called Critical Thinking, which is about a dedicated teacher that inspires a group of Latino and Black teens to be chess champions. So tell us a little bit about that.
So it takes place in 1998. The whole 90s was like, tough place. And Miami was not an easy place to be either. And in the middle of, the worst place and the worst school, there was this beautiful thing happening where these gangster boys turned into ghetto intellectuals, so to speak. And all they wanted to do was play chess. And they had this amazing mentor, Mario Martinez, who John portrayed in the film. And they just kept winning and winning and winning and winning. And they got famous all over the country, and they were known as, dangerous players. And these guys, pretty much, I would say that all of them, girls and boys, all of them, and they got out of the hood with the skills they picked up playing chess. And it took me 22 years to make the film.
I was gonna touch upon that I attended the virtual webinar you guys had about the
awesome.
Super well done. I was super shocked how they made the virtual webinar seem super normal, I guess, now that everything's through Zoom.
Well, that's how we are. That's how the producers and me, that we kind of formed a sweet relationship, because when you're speaking about the NYU web, because when, that's a very good point that you noticed, because I got a lot of response. Shout out to NYU. I got a ton of responses saying that they felt me or whoever was speaking like cross through the computer into their soul, and they felt that. And it's very true. I would say 100% of the big movie stars and everybody else that have been on movie sets for a long time, they said that this was the strangest, most non-movie set they have ever been in. We made a movie about real people, and when I first met them, they were 16 and 17 years old. And the only thing that I said to them was, just trust me. And now they're almost 40. So, there they are. I'm watching themselves being portrayed by other people. And at that time, and I was crying, it was a very special set. And when it's about real people that are actually there watching it, you have to be very careful, and you form bonds that I think will last forever. I have a personal connection with them because I've been the one trying to make the movie for all these years. So Mario Martinez, the coach, and all of the boys, they're not boys anymore, but I kind of call them boys.
In your heart.
In my heart, they'll always be 17. But I have this special relationship because I don't think anybody actually believed it was ever going to get done, because it took so long. So
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, but you mentioned in the webinar that the script was written over like 7 years ago, but the concept of the movie was even like made up way before that. So I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So what happened was the Miami Herald in the 90s on Sunday, they used to have a magazine called Tropic magazine, and it was included in the print because there was no a big internet at that time. They don't have the magazine anymore. So on the cover was one of the boys in the movie, Ito, and at the time he had dreadlocks. He was very young, and he was holding a chess piece, and the whole cover was his face with dreadlocks. And the caption said, "Kings in the Hood." People have this, or had this, preconceived notion that people that play chess are wealthy people from the Northeast, of the United States, that go to prep schools, and that's it. And that is not true. And I believe that, by making this movie, we changed the conversation completely. We changed the narrative. about who actually is playing chess and where is all this genius coming from. It's not coming from where it used to come from, years and years and years ago. That's just not it anymore. And enough is enough with the preconceived notions. It's enough, like realize where it's coming from, take a light and illuminate these boys and girls who literally are using chess as a way out. And they could see a future.
Drain out their emotions and drain out what they were living at the time.
It was terrible. I mean, the movie does not change anything about their lives. I mean, so we were trying to find, locations that reflected exactly
right, because
how they were, but in general,
like the places that you like kind of got inspired from like 20 years ago.
Or we couldn't even film. We couldn't film in Miami Jackson because it was, it got
so different.
A $20 million renovation. Yeah. And so we had to film at Hialeah High School, so which is not, which looked exactly like the school. I'm happy, very happy that this movie came out for many, many reasons. One of them being that we changed, like I said, the conversation. People started realizing, that these guys are brilliant. And
you wouldn't see and you wouldn't expect from that specific group.
Exactly.
During that time, from that school. Exactly. So you guys did really change the narrative.
We changed the narrative, exactly. And what I was saying is it was a time for everybody to realize that you can't hold on to old stereotypes, especially when it comes to people and genius, like where it's naturally born out of them. To me, what I was trying to do was shine a light on Miami Jackson. It was like a love letter to Miami Jackson at the time, and nobody cared. And one of the boys, Rodolay, in the movie, who is portrayed by Angel Curiel, who is on Pose. He's really great actor. The real Rodolay, he always asks me this question, and I never could answer. I would just cry. He said, "Why would a woman like you care about kids like us for so long?" Wow. And I just couldn't answer him. The only thing I can think of is, obviously it got in my blood and it got under my skin when I met them.
For you to show interest and kind of start developing.
I mean, it took 1/3 of my life. You imagine that? 1/3 of my life.
And that shows how much it impacted you.
It meant to me. It impacted me greatly. I mean, these guys are so special.
You guys had planned that the release date would be in theaters and another date. Obviously this year was probably one of the most unprecedented, unexpected years. It kind of messed up everybody's plans. So how did COVID-19 affect the release and the process, since you guys had to release it digitally?
Yeah, that's a really good story. It's only now, believe it or not, that I see the vaccine coming out, that I actually took the time, allowed myself the time to get pensive and sad a bit. Right. Because what happened was, it was 20 years to the day when we started filming almost. And when we finished filming and we went into post-production, we finished in December. And we got accepted into 4 film festivals. The first one was South by Southwest, which is the only one that I wanted to go to. And the trajectory of the film would have been a completely different situation. We would have literally, there would have been a bidding war. There would have been studios trying to buy it. We,
due to the health crisis, I think a lot of projects, obviously the movie was a success, but
we managed to sell, not managed. I literally, it was my responsibility to make sure that the movie had a life cycle, which is from beginning to end, and sell it. Right. So I didn't give myself an opportunity to be nervous or sad or upset, because I had to
You
sell
were
it,
so
even
focused
though
on getting the deal
I was
done.
very focused on that. And I never gave myself an opportunity to even think about what is, what happened, So it's very ironic because we finally get it done after all these years, and we got closed out of everything closed down. So in a way it was good because people stayed home and are able to watch the film. But in another way, it was absolutely terrible and destructive because it didn't have the respect and the exposure that it would have, if there was no COVID. So the distribution was different, and we just have to deal with it. It's just going to take longer for people to learn about the movie than it just would have been if we would have just gone straight normal to a film festival. But look, it's almost like the reason it took 20 years because little things would get in the way. Right, exactly. And I think that it's like a chess match, you think you win and then there's always like one more move. So like we thought we were there and then nope, COVID came and it wasn't checkmate,
We love chess analogies. You actually play chess?
We had to find another move. Yeah.
You do?
Well, I'm learning.
When I was reading, your position on this project and the story behind it, when I was listening to the webinar, I was kind of impacted because I just think that right now there are not a lot of people who are so passionate about the projects that they work on. So that really caught my attention, and I'm super happy that there is still like these types of people in this world.
I think I'm pretty much alone.
Yes.
I don't think there's anybody else.
To you.
I'm telling you, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I'm telling you, 22 years is a long time to dedicate to one project. And I don't think I can find another human being that would be so dedicated. I think it's because it was a true story that,
the bottom line, that's just what it is. Like, you need to be passionate and feel like you're not working when you're actually working.
It wasn't working in my mind. Exactly.
We have to be happy at the end of the day. So I think that is beautiful. What you guys did, it is a really, truly magical project, and it turned out amazing.
I'm so happy we did this.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I wish you the best on all your future endeavors.
Thank you.